During the season, they had 13 games where they scored less than 100 points and only won 2 of them. And in the playoffs, they've had 4 games under 100 and they haven't won any of those. So 100 points is critical, and to do that, they've got to get something from Charles Barkley and all the rest of the supporting cast that he has with his team. This has to be an all-out effort by the Sixers.
Johnny Dawkins guarded by John Paxson. Charles to Mike Jaminski, 18-footer, and there's an offensive rebound. Barkley, and Jaminski now will fire it home.
That's great offensive work by Charles to keep that ball alive at the offensive board, and for Mike to finish it up. That's Mike's first offensive rebound in this series.
Horace Grant.
Now Rick Mahorn has to get out on him closer than that. Horace Grant can shoot the ball from 17.
The Bulls have been very successful at double teaming Charles in this kind of situation. There you see him again, guarded by 2. Here's a steal by Jordan, but he stepped out of bounds.
We've seen 2 occasions now where Charles Barkley has gotten the ball out on the edges rather than exclusively at the box. Jim Lynam wanted to try that ploy to see if he can shake Charles loose to get some open court drives to the basket. I think it's a good idea.
Horace Grant, number 54, guards Barkley, who will inbound it.
7 seconds on the shot clock here. Sixers have to move.
Stolen by Pippen. This is Scottie Pippen, a great open floor player. To John Paxson. Still tied at 2. Sixers speeding the ball up the floor. They have to do that whenever possible. Mahorn trying to save it, and Hawkins now, and it goes backcourt, and there is a backcourt violation spotted by Joey Crawford.
That ball looked like it was hit loose by a Bull. Joe Crawford didn't see it that way, obviously.
The fever pitch is tuned up as high as it can go right now. May even be affecting the 2 teams. Charles fighting with Pippen for the loose ball, and the Bulls keep it.
The Bulls have hurt the Sixers at their offensive board, Jim. They've out-rebounded them at the offensive board 24-15 in the 2 games.
A terrific shot by Michael Jordan as he got up, hesitated, and then redirected his shot.
Now that's as good as you can defend somebody. Michael just made an incredible shot as you described it, Jim.
If he continues to play the way he has in games 1 and 2, here's Barkley, the offensive board again. Getting back to Jordan. If he's going to play at the level he's going to play, there's not much you can do about it. You got to just surrender and give the guy credit. Here's a 20-second timeout called by the Bulls. Coach Jackson. Watch this play once more by Michael Jordan.
Jordan drives by Hersey Hawkins, but here the Sixers come. Both Mahorn and Barkley close that off. Michael made a great shot. Now watch Charles at this offensive board. He's dynamite in there. Misses the first, gets the second, and takes it home. But he needs more help. I mentioned earlier, Jim, that the Sixers had 15 offensive rebounds in the 2 games. Charles had 12 of them. He needs help in there. He's doing a great job at that offensive board, but he needs more help.
We're even at 4. They run a screen for Pippen, and he breaks out and hits the shot.
It looks like the Sixers are almost conceding the Bulls the open jump shot, but not letting them get it at the paint. I think that's going to pay off for them.
Charles, spin move, puts it up and rebounds his own miss. And that is 3 offensive rebounds already. Hawkins.
This is too much room.
Scottie Pippen Now squares up and fires, and the rebound is by Cartwright, and the Bulls will start over with a new 24 seconds.
Jordan working off that low baseline screen. He's tough down there.
This is this time, and there is a loose ball foul. Great position by Barkley, and Scottie Pippen trying to come in from behind commits the foul.
And Phil Jackson picks up a technical foul. He was protesting on 2 occasions.
He's saying
about the over-the-back rebound.
Yeah, give it to me the other end if you're going to call it at this end, but on that specific play, there can't be much room for argument. Rick Mahorn flexing his right knee now. He might have just got hit by one of the other players' knees, bone to bone, which can be very painful.
Bone to bone. That's right, Jim. They hurt, but they're not serious.
Sounds like a name of a song, doesn't it? Bone to bone. 7-6, the Sixers with the ball.
Sixers trying to take advantage of Mike Jaminski, and they got him.
Powers his way inside, and he's going to be called for a travel.
Oh.
Cartwright, the defender.
Mike had great position on Scott Pippen, and that's an advantage that the Sixers want to exploit when they can. Jaminski working hard on Bill Cartwright, pushing him out.
An unorthodox jump shot really looks bad on that particular effort.
It's an ugly looking shot, but he can make it.
When he doesn't, though, it's really ugly. There's Charles, who's going right to work when he gets that ball. Jaminski keeping it alive, and it's punched out of bounds, and they're going to say the Sixers will keep it under their own basket.
Yeah, Hugh Hollins was the only referee who saw that play correctly, and Hugh made the call.
The lob to Mahorn is not there, so the Sixers adjust, and here is Jaminski, knocked away by Jordan. And an open court foul taken by Johnny Dawkins. Of all the superlatives that you can deal out for Michael Jordan, throw in there the fact that he's got terrific hands on defense.
He can rake the ball out of a shooter's hands better than anybody in the game, in my opinion. He probably fouls a little bit, too. There's a steal by Barkley.
Dawkins picks it up, and Michael Jordan this time elects to keep hands off. Sixers now with a 9-6 lead.
Michael Jordan has really not involved himself in the game to this point, other than to pass the ball and get his teammates into it. Seems content just to let the other guys play at this point of the game.
Pippen trying to work the baseline. Gets caught out of room. 2-on-1, but the one is Michael Jordan. This is going to be fun, and Hersey Hawkins takes it right into the basket.
Nice 2-on-1 play by the Hawk and the Dawk.
And a timeout, I think, underway. Yes, the Bulls. Phil Jackson up off the bench with a timeout, and it's Sixers 11, Bulls 6, with 7 minutes and 5 seconds left to go in quarter number 1. Well, already we can see signs that Sixers defense can trigger an awful lot of things that are good.
Well, here you're going to see Charles Barkley poke that ball loose from Scottie Pippen. John Dawkins picks it up. It's a foot race to the basket, but he gets in there. Michael Jordan doesn't risk the foul. Good defense by the Sixers, and they're more alive than they were in the games that we saw from Chicago. Here's a good 2-on-1 play. Again, Hawkins freezing Jordan and then laying the ball in the basket. So Sixers off to a good defensive start, and they're working hard at the offensive board. They have 6 offensive rebounds in the game this far, and they only had 15 in the first 2.
Barkley with 4 of those 6 offensive boards. The Sixers have scored 7 unanswered points here and lead it 11-6.
Jim Lynam's idea of bringing Charles Barkley out to the edges to open up some driving space for him and occasionally flash him to the post has worked very well so far. But with the Bulls down by 5, I think you'll see Michael Jordan start to go to work on his own game. And there he goes.
A quick turnaround, and this one rattles in and out. Out of bounds, Sixers ball. Jordan got the shot he wanted. This would not fall for him.
He usually goes to the other box, Jim. He's better at the right side as you look at the basket. Rick Mahorn wants and gets Bill Cartwright.
I don't know what you want to call it, a half hook shot or just a floating sidearm one-hander or whatever, but Rick Mahorn now on the board.
That's a positive sign for the Sixers also. Rick has not been involved much in the offensive game to this point.
Cartwright. Whistle underneath the basket and a 3-second violation.
Sixers doing a good job. They double-teamed Cartwright, forced him to throw the ball out, and in the time that all that took, the Bulls got caught for 3 seconds in the lane.
Just about halfway through the opening quarter, and the Sixers lead it by 7. Shot clock now is down to 4 seconds. Another rebound, Barkley. Hawkins for 3, and he's got it. But give the credit to Barkley to keep the offensive sequence alive.
Now give Charles credit for pursuing that ball. He's doing yeoman work at that offensive board. Nice move by Horace Grant.
Horace Grant, that quick move to the baseline. Probably the most improved player on this Bulls team would be Grant. Dawkins getting swarmed on, and there's an open man. 18-8.
That's a good pass by John Dawkins under some pretty severe pressure by the Bulls.
You could also make a case for Pippen, who's really come on and had a great year or two. Just being on the same team with Michael Jordan will probably elevate almost anybody.
Oh, my. That left Michael all alone and he missed the shot.
And the
Great
Sixers
pass.
moving the ball quickly down the floor. Charles in determined manner puts it up and in, and the Bulls now just looking around with what has hit us.
Watch the work that Charles Barkley does here. There's a great drive and a very good block by Michael Jordan. Barkley collects the ball. Watch this move. He gets raked across the arm, jumps away from the basket, manages to slice it off the board and in. Chance for a three-point play for Charles, and the Sixers are 20-8, Jim.
That's where it stays. With 4:45 left in the opening quarter, it's been all Philadelphia. Both ends of the floor so far. Pippen with daylight, and Charles goes up for the defensive play and a foul. Well, you can't fault Barkley's effort there.
Now Scott Pippen gets daylight into the lane. Ron Anderson fell down. Charles came over and stopped the uncontested layup.
That was
another view of this. Here comes Charles. He's going after the shot. That cannot be considered an unusual foul. A foul just to knock a player out of there. That's a foul that comes along with going after the shot.
That was 2 points had it occurred in Chicago. The Bulls were getting a lot of those, as Jack and I talked about. Pippen able to make them both. 20-10 now. Hawkins trying to work free.
Michael Jordan is an excellent defender.
Paxson to reach in, and he's fouled. Hersey did a good job of working the screen to get rid of Jordan, but a nice cover up by Paxson, but a foul.
Shooting 2.
Ed Neely now in the game for the Bulls.
Ed Neely is a banger. He's been a journeyman player for years in the NBA, and he's really found a home here in Chicago. The fans out there appreciate him, give him a lot of vocal support. and Phil Jackson likes what he does for the team.
The amount of playing time that he has gotten with the Bulls this year, a significant rise from his other ventures, and he's played for.
He sets good screens, he rebounds the ball well, and he can make a distant shot.
There is the shake and the bake, and Michael falling down, and Hersey Hawkins.
Great defense by the Hawks.
Defending well, forces Jordan into a travel, and you watch a lot of Bulls games and not see that very often. Ron Anderson.
Ron Anderson got wrapped up by Bill Cartwright, but he had already gotten the foul out in the perimeter.
That's the second foul for Pippen now, and another change as Grant comes in for Pippen. So now the forwards are Neely and Grant. Anderson, Dawkins, Hawkins, Barkley, and Jaminski. The open shot. Mike Jaminski hitting that open shot now with 6 points. Charles drew the crowd, and Mike Jaminski makes the field goal.
Yeah, just that little penetration is significant.
There's one tipped and stolen now, and Dawkins with it. The coast-to-coast move by Johnny Dawkins, and it's 26-10, and Phil Jackson up off the bench again. Appears to be headed for another timeout, and he's got it. And with 3:02 left to go in the opening quarter, it's been all Sixers. They lead it 26-10. We're going to look at what the players call old Milwaukee defense. It doesn't get much better than this.
Well, this is clinic time, Jim. Hersey Hawkins couldn't play better defense on a classic offensive player. Watch his foot movement. He cut Jordan's drive off to the lane, spun back, and was able to block the shot. And then here comes Johnny Dawkins in the open court. Nobody picks him up, and John goes all the way to the hoop. That's what the Sixers were guilty of in Chicago, and now they're capitalizing on that same phase of the game, but the Bulls are lax this time.
In games 1 and 2, the Bulls only had 9 turnovers combined. They have 5 already in this game. Jordan fades and misfires again. That one was well off the mark by his standards. This is Ron Anderson. Anderson from the top of the key.
Be a good opportunity for the Sixers to go after Scott Pippen, who already has 2 fouls. See if Ron will try to take advantage of that. Good defense on Cartwright.
Jordan again. Misfiring with that jumper. Michael 1 out of 6 so far. Charles leans and doesn't get it, and no one's around to grab the rebound. It bounces practically into the hands of Paxson without much effort going for it. And a block foul this time. And Jordan frustratingly, I should say, flips it into the air. He knows he's struggling with it.
First in the last 2 minutes. Sixers substitution, 23-5.
Bob Thornton comes in for Mike Jaminski. The Sixers.
That's a great start for Mike. I think that beginning will certainly pump him up enough.
Yeah, he
to
made
get the rest of his game going.
Made 3 out of 4 shots. Three-point attempt, and this one right down the heart of the basket.
You can't assume that he's not going to shoot the ball well. Even though he's 1 for 6 starting off, he could make 6 in a row from here. Charles has great position.
Wow, Grant got away with a big foul, and Charles just
Charles Barkley stepped right between the double teamers and stuck that ball in the basket.
Here's Scotty Brooks coming in as Hersey Hawkins commits a foul. Johnny Dawkins will get a rest. Watch Charles again outmaneuver everybody.
Charles had great position. Now the Bulls collapse. Charles steps right between Cartwright and Grant and sticks that ball in the hole.
B.J. Armstrong and Stacey King report in for Chicago. Well, King has to wait. Didn't make it in time. Michael seemed to be drifting away as he released that ball. That's much better, and 6 points now for
Chicago showing trap.
6 for Jordan. The Sixers inbound it in good shape, have a 2-on-2. Anderson to the basket.
Oh, Ron was right there. Ron was right there and made a tough shot out of an easy one. Good defense by Thornton.
Another 3. Ron Anderson with the rebound. 30-14. Charles for 3. And the ball bounces wildly. Here goes Hawkins. He's got 3. What's going on here? The last 3 shots were all 3-point attempts.
And Scott Brooks comes up with an offensive rebound.
Albeit off the floor, 18 feet away from the basket.
It's a rebound. Look at Scotty out there on B.J. Armstrong.
And an offensive foul as Stacey King.
That's good position by Bob Thornton.
Yeah, meets up with Bob Thornton.
Bob does an excellent job defending post guys. He's done it all year for the Sixers. He also sets some bone-jarring screens for the shooters.
I want to correct myself about turnovers. The Bulls committed 9 in each game. I said combined, but 9 in each game. They've got 6 now already. We're in the waning seconds of the opening quarter.
Scott Brooks needs to go with it.
And it's still alive. And 2 seconds on the clock. And now the 24-second clock runs down. So with 1.2 seconds left, the Bulls will inbound it. You got to watch for the old alley-ooper. Stacey King is down low. Bob Thornton shadowing him. Jordan is posted at around the foul line, and he's double-teamed. B.J. Armstrong is wide open. Now they're going to add some time to the clock. Was down to 1.2. They're going to up it now to 2.3 seconds.
Charles Barkley is going to make sure that Michael Jordan doesn't get this ball.
The quick one will be to Pippen. He'll get the shot off in time and rattle it off the side of the basket. But a terrific first quarter for the Sixers in every aspect of the game. They lead it 33-14, and we'll be back with quarter number 2 right after this. Jack, a 7-rebound quarter for Charles Barkley, 6 of them on the offensive boards.
Well, Charles has done a huge job in there. Here we see him firing a 3. Ball bounces out to Scott Brooks. Hersey lines it up, bangs it home for a 3. But Charles has been dynamite around that offensive board, Jim. And that has been a sore spot for the Sixers in the first 2 games.
A big difference in every phase of the game. Michael Jordan is 2 out of 8 from the field, contributing to that low number for the Bulls.
The Bulls have a small team out on the floor, but a quick team. I would look for them to do some trapping after they score, and particularly from free throws. See if they can generate a running game while Michael Jordan takes a rest on the bench.
Craig Hodges is in the game along with B.J. Armstrong. This is the miss by Armstrong, and again the Sixers sweeping the boards clean.
Oh, great position by Barkley.
Fakes once, twice, and no, a travel.
No basket, traveling violation, traveling.
Joe Crawford, Bennett Salvatore, and Hugh Hollins. This is solid officials working this game.
This is a good crew.
Pippen. Grant. And a nice move by Horace Grant. He has 6 points.
Horace Grant is going to be a big-time player in the NBA.
I grant you. Again, Charles, nice dish. Ball is still bobbling around, and here comes Armstrong. Blocked in there by Scott Brooks, but a foul.
That's a good block. That's good. Watch Scott. That's a nice pass by Armstrong. And Brooks comes across, gets part of the ball, fouls Pippen, but it's a good foul.
Pippen has been averaging 20 points a game in the playoffs. That includes their 4 games with Milwaukee and the 2 against the Sixers.
The Sixers were not doing what they're doing tonight, Jim, in protecting that paint in the first 2 games. Tonight, they're protecting the paint well, and here comes Chicago's trap. The Sixers have to be careful.
Near steal. Now Brooks will get it across the midline. Hawkins for 3. No, tipped by Barkley. He's got another rebound, and he's clobbered in there. If it's loose, Charles has got it.
Tie. Watch Charles Barkley. There goes the Hawk for a 3-pointer. Now watch Charles up there above the others. Looks like the others are nailed to the floor, and Charles is up there tipping the ball. That's his strength. He gets up before the others can react to the play and gets innumerable offensive rebounds that way.
Now there's another miss from the line. Charles with 3 field goals, and he's missed 2 out of 2 from the free throw line.
Charles had shot them well in this series up to this point. He had been 11 for 12 in the first 2 games.
34-18.
Good defense by Ron Anderson.
And another steal by the Sixers. Barkley behind the back. Hawkins.
Ron Anderson's defense caused that turnover.
Bulls now with 7 turnovers. And only 18 points. The Sixers have doubled that. 36-18. Thornton gets pounded again, and Barkley just sweeping everything. As soon as that ball becomes eligible to be a rebound, Charles is there. Good defensive effort, and the Sixers keep it. Pippen coming up with a block.
Jim Lynam's asking for goaltending, but he's not going to get it.
Rick Mahorn is back. Barkley now with a thundering
Charles.
ovation as he takes a seat.
I couldn't tell from this angle whether that hit the glass or not. If it hit the glass before it's tipped, then it's goaltending. But we didn't have a good angle on the replay.
We're in the second quarter. There's 9 minutes and 55 seconds left to go. This will be Brooks. Scottie Pippen the rebound, and here come the Bulls.
Now without Barkley, Mahorn, Anderson, and Thornton are going to have to hammer that offensive board.
Unable to control it, and out of bounds it goes off the knee of Horace Grant. Another turnover. Cartwright and Mahorn, and Rick wins this one. Second field goal of the game for Mahorn.
That's 2 for 2 from Rick from the paint. Needed those badly. I think this will do a lot for his confidence as well. Look at Rick and King banging with each other down low.
20-point Sixer lead.
Thornton and Cartwright.
Wild scramble, and Thornton and Mahorn team up to create the rebound. Here's the Hawk. They are dehorning these Bulls at the moment.
And Another timeout for Phil Jackson. He's got to regroup.
The Sixers 40, the Bulls 18. 8:50 to go. We'll be back.
Sixers emphasis on blocking out. Look at Bob Thornton checking his man. Rick Mahorn checking his. Shot goes up. Thornton keeps his. Ball bounce free. Mahorn comes up with it. Shovels it out to Brooks. Let's stop it there. Here's Scott Brooks with the ball, and the lanes are being filled. Scotty has good outlets. Pushes the ball, finds Hersey on the left side, drives it to the basket, and the Bulls let him go all by himself. Hersey for two. Good fast break, triggered by the rebounding by the big Sixers inside.
This will be B.J. Armstrong. Jordan back in the game. Stacey King sets the screen.
Good job, Jordan. Matched up with Mahorn now. They clear it out so Michael can take him. Good recovery by the Sixers.
The open shooter is Armstrong. And look at Scott Brooks. Scotty with a couple of rebounds already. Anderson, no. And easy one here for Hodges.
Good pass.
And a nice move underneath to score the basket for Stacey King now. His first field goal in the game. Sixers with a 20-point lead. You want to bottle what you've seen so far. There'll be no problem.
Hersey against Hodges.
There's the double, and Mahorn with Cartwright in his face. Rebound, Jaminski.
Look at those. Oh, my.
There's one lob into the hands of Armstrong. And Brooks got the worst of it, but at least he prevented a lazy layup for Stacey King. Watch this.
Scotty comes over, not giving him the layup. That's why the Sixers are at this level of playoff competition. They would not give the layup during the regular season and in the home games against Cleveland. In the away games at Cleveland, they gave the layup, the same as they did at Chicago.
King rattles it down for his third point. Here comes Johnny Dawkins in now for Scott Brooks.
Terrific job by Brooks. Bench players and Fred Carter all give him the high five.
(40-22). Again, full court pressure by Chicago.
Bulls showing that trap again. They're dangerous with this. You got to be careful.
Dawkins able to dribble through the initial pressure.
Good job by John.
And they clear aside for the Hawks. Seconds ticking down. 5. 3 seconds. Dawkins will have to put it up. Does in time. Rebound Chicago. Two men surrounding Jordan. Again, hands all over the place, and this one tipped away by Hersey Hawkins. Here comes Barkley in the game on the fly.
Charles sprinted from the bench.
Barely got past the... You need radar to check him in at midcourt. Ron Anderson comes out.
Ron did a good job as well. Sixers bench has been very productive tonight.
Hodges sits down, and Grant now comes back in for the Bulls. 7 minutes left in the first half.
So Sixers now have their starting unit back on the floor.
The stop and the pop, and another Jordan miss. 4 on 2 now. Dawkins. Oh, what a difference running the floor will make.
And that starts at the defensive board, Jim. Barkley clearing the board and pushing the ball out of there before the Bulls could regroup.
Cartwright had the ball juggled away, but again a whistle.
Bill Cartwright tried to cross over in front of Mike Jaminski. Mike had a good piece of the ball, but I guess he also had the arm.
Now Jordan posting up, takes the extra dribble and gets caught again. To Barkley, who is fouled and goes. The foul by Armstrong, and there's nobody with arms any stronger than Barkley.
BJ's lucky he didn't stick him in the basket, too.
He was heading in that direction.
BJ is trying to do the same thing Scott Brooks did and wrap Charles up. Charles is too strong.
Ron Anderson returns to the Sixers for Hersey Hawkins.
6:15 left to go in this first half.
Jim Lynam's doing a great job of rotating his personnel.
Another miss, another rebound. Jaminski with 7 rebounds. Good defense and an alley-ooper, and Armstrong will have a breakaway. Jordan with the play.
DJ Armstrong.
Armstrong, his first field goal. Behind, alley-oop, Ron Anderson. Again, an assist by Barkley.
That's just a great pass. Right on target. And there's another effort.
There's the Bulls version, and here's another breakaway, and Barkley has it. See you later.
Charles is really pumped, I'll tell you.
Oh, man.
He's going to play everybody.
You got to lock the doors to control him right now. The Sixers 49, the Bulls 24, and we are seeing, I think, Jack, the finest stretch of basketball that we have seen the Sixers play all season long.
Well, I would agree, but it's hard to single anybody out. But Charles Barkley has been a monster out there. He's rebounding both boards. He's getting the ball out when it's necessary. He drives it out on the dribble. He makes the pass to the open players going to the basket. There's a great effort on a pass to Jordan, but the pass is really too high, and even Michael can't haul it down. There's Charles picking up that. Look at Charles. He's really pumped for this game, folks. Now watch Charles on this pass. He's going to stick it right past the defenders to Ron Anderson, who just looped through the lane area in back of Michael Jordan.
Johnny Dawkins, Hersey Hawkins also coming to the fore so far. 9 out of 13 are they. Hawkins with 17 points leads the Sixers in scoring. That's Derek Smith once again, bothered by that tendonitis on a day-to-day kind of thing and still not ready to play.
Well, I'm hoping Derek can get ready to play soon. The Sixers need him. Jim Lynam has done a magnificent job of sliding players in and out, getting maximum performances from everybody in tonight's game. But he needs Derek Smith. But he needs Derek Smith at 100%. And there's no point in Derek out there at 50 to 75%. And I think that's what Derek is basing his decision upon.
Phil Jackson trying to plug the dike. Leaks all over the place for his team.
Well, you know at some point in this game, the Bulls are going to mount a charge. And the Sixers, with the lead like this, 25 points is a big advantage, but they can't go to sleep. The NBA game is structured so that the team that's behind always has a chance to get back in it. The 24-second clock gives you that opportunity. So Sixers have to stay on their toes.
Pippen is back in for Chicago. Stacey King out.
Good defense by the Sixers.
Here is Pippen. Now he whips to Jordan. And a two-pointer that time. 8 points for Jordan. 49-26.
Michael hasn't gotten any inside yet, Jim. I think that's a key factor.
Jaminski squares up and fires. Now that's 4 field goals for Mike.
It's a big factor for the Sixers because Chicago plugs that lane so well. In so doing, they give Jaminski the jumper, and he's been burying them with good regularity to this point.
Anderson wrapped up in a really controlled Jordan, and then cutting across Jaminski with a steal. Ron Anderson did a terrific job of taking Jordan right out of that offensive set.
That's great anticipation by Jaminski. He deserves a ball at the post right now. Whoa.
Guarded by Pippen. He had momentarily.
They're trying to get it to him.
What do we got?
3 seconds.
3-second violation on 76ers.
Mike had position, was being fronted by Pippen. I think the ball might have been passed over the top, but neither Barkley nor his teammate felt that they could throw that ball to him. So Mike got stuck for 3 seconds.
Here is Paxson, and a rare shot for him. That's his first field goal of the game.
John Paxson hasn't scored much, but he's handled the ball well for the Bulls.
There's the double on Charles. Only momentarily does he double. Now Jaminski was hit 4 out of 5, making 5 out of 6. Just like you just diagram it, and going all the way back to Lancaster in preseason camp. All coming together at once. Jordan is fouled by Mahorn. Jimmy Lynam not happy with that one, as Mahorn went way into the exterior there to foul Jordan, who has not been shooting that well.
Michael Jordan shooting 2.
Jim Lynam has rotated Ron Anderson at both the small forward and the 2 guard, and it's worked out well for him to this point.
King returns for the Bulls.
Here comes Stacey King back in. Dawkins and Hawkins are there in the guards. Jaminski, Mahorn, and Barkley for the Sixers.
More quickness on the floor for the Bulls now without Cartwright. Stacey King, quick-footed. Give the Bulls a chance to pressure and trap if they so desire. But they're going to match up straight man-to-man.
Hersey with a dish underneath.
Oh, that's a nice pass by Hersey. Drove the paint, drew the defenders, laid off to Mahorn, who stuck it home.
He just blew by Michael Jordan that time. There's this big screen set by Pippen. Jordan throwing it away.
Sixers are terrific, Jim, at the defensive end.
They have made Michael Jordan not shoot the ball when in close range of the basket. Jordan has had to go outside for his shots. Dawkins hits from 3-point range, and the Sixers are piling it on again, 58-30.
Sixers should bottle some of this, Jim. Save this for the next one. They're dynamite tonight.
Here's Pippen with a drop step, and he misses inside, and a foul called. Mahorn commits his second. Now the Bulls are going to bring Will Perdue on, and he'll replace Grant. Let's look and see if we can spot that foul.
Well, Pippen gets the ball in the paint. When a player gets the ball in the paint, there isn't a lot you can do about that. Rick Mahorn fouls over the top.
That was a rather delicate touch foul.
Yeah. Referees like to call that. If you foul a player, go after the shot from behind, you really have to come off with a crystal clear block to get it. If there's any contact with the shooter at all, he always gets the foul. In that kind of play.
Coming up on the 2-minute mark here in the first half.
There's 2 minutes remaining in the first half. 2 minutes.
Trying for Mike Jaminski baseline, and the Bulls converge and knock it out of bounds. 13 seconds on the clock for the Sixers.
Hugh Hollins with that call on the deflection. That's why I like the 3-man system.
There's that play, that favorite of the Sixers.
And
Barkley
Charles
again.
Barkley. Here goes Pippen.
Jaminski will grab a foul there. As you can see tonight, if you are a Chicago Bulls player wearing that red uniform and you're driving to the basket, look out.
Well, they're not getting there, Jim. They are just not getting to the paint. And the Sixers are not taking any unnecessary fouls. These are not exceptionally tough fouls. They're just wrapping these guys up before they can get to the layup.
There's a long pass, and Jordan outruns Thornton, and the Bulls able to convert that into a Sixer turnover.
Watch for threes.
Right on target. Jordan now with 12. Michael has been averaging 38.5 in the playoffs.
Great pass. Great pass by Hersey Hawkins.
Personal foul,
Stacey King commits the foul. Look at it again.
Watch the Hawk. He's just waiting to get an angle and finds it right there and spins the ball into Charles Barkley, who had a couple of fingernails open. That's all.
Charles tried to get a shooting foul out of that. Did not work. There is the Hawk. 18 points now for Hersey Hawkins. 61-35. Jordan, and he'll get a free throw out of it as well.
That's the first time Michael's really gotten all the way to the hoop for a score. But watch this maneuver. He's going to get a double team. He breaks the double team, spins down, changes direction in the air, and lays it in softly after he's been bumped by Barkley. He's an amazing athlete.
He's got 15 points now as he's starting to get with it. At just 6 in that first quarter. Time left here in the first half, 35 seconds. 8 on the shot clock now for the Sixers, and there is a foul called as Paxson, reaching around, commits it. Now the Bulls go over the limit. Scotty Brooks goes to the line. Phil Jackson will go to the drawing board in just a few seconds to try and regroup. Another rest for Barkley. Anderson back in.
Craig Hodges checks in for the Bulls.
In for the Bulls, there he is.
For Stacey King.
One shot.
63-38. 30 seconds left in the first half. Stay tuned at halftime for our NBA beat with Mark Zumoff and Tony Irving. Jack and I will be along for some comments. There is Jordan again, and drawing the foul this time. Didn't get the basket. Anderson commits the foul. Sixers are doing a good job staying out of foul trouble. And Jack, one of the reasons has to be the way the subs are coming in waves here.
Yes. Jim's done a good job rotating his personnel so that nobody's out there for too long a stretch, and nobody's out there long enough to collect 3 fouls.
It's almost like a hockey game in the way the substitutions are coming on shifts. Go out there, give me 3, 4, 5 minutes, and whoa, great play. Tipped in there, and they're going to give that to King. There's the double on Hawk, and he breaks that down in a hurry. To the cutting Bob Thornton, but behind him.
Sixers don't want to give up a long one here.
1 second to go. It would have counted, believe it or not. The miss by King, and what a first half, and the crowd here at the Spectrum giving the Sixers a standing ovation. You won't see much better play in a half of basketball, and they lead the Chicago Bulls by the score of 63-41. Well, after jumping to a 33-14 first quarter lead, the Sixers 63-41 at the half, and as those numbers would indicate, the Sixers dominating statistically as well.
Two things jump right out at you, Jim. The rebound, Sixers 24-11, and more significantly, 12-4 on offensive rebounds. That's where they were getting hurt in Chicago. So that factor, plus the shooting percentage, 57 for the Sixers, which means they're getting good shots, they're getting a good number of layups. They scored 27 fast break points to the Bulls' only 9. So those statistics tell the story.
And so does that man right there, Charles Barkley, who has been a demon on the boards tonight. Charles with 11 first half rebounds to go with his 14 points.
Charles had 8 of the 12 Sixer offensive rebounds. Mike Jaminski had 3, and Scotty Brooks got the other.
The Bulls will inbound it to start the second half. Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, and John Paxson are in the front court, and waiting underneath the basket is Bill Cartwright and Horace Grant. Dawkins and Hawkins, Barkley, Mahorn, and Jaminski.
The Sixers have to maintain their concentration. Not the easiest thing to do with a 22-point lead starting the second half.
At some point, the Bulls will take charge, but here's a bad pass and another turnover, and beating the pack down the floor is Hawkins, but what a recovery.
Michael Jordan, my, oh my, what a play that was. Watch Michael on this. The ball gets poked loose here. Dawkins with the ball. Here goes the Hawk. Now watch Jordan around the back and flick that ball right off his hand.
And he got a piece of that, or the Bulls with a piece of that to create a steal in the inbounds pass. It's getting started here in the second half. Pippen underneath. Scottie Pippen with 11 points. Becomes the second Bulls player now to hit double figures.
Sixers do not want to slow down their game. They have a 20-point lead because they pushed the ball and they defended very aggressively. They want to continue that kind of play.
The spin move is Hawkins, and Jaminski keeps it alive. Mahorn pumps and gets it.
Keeping the ball alive, Jim, as you described, that's very significant because nobody had a good pop at that first shot. Mike poked it loose. Rick capitalized on it.
There's Cartwright with the miss, and Barkley saves. Dawkins trying to get a lane to the basket, and a blocking foul on Michael Jordan. That is only the first foul for Jordan.
Michael involves himself in almost every defensive play.
He's somewhere.
And because of his quick hands and a little help from the referees, that's his first foul. I don't mean tonight necessarily, but Michael gets away with little things because he is so quick and it's hard to catch him.
Pippen, no. Cartwright with the rebound. There is room. And there's an offensive rebound. It's missed by Grant. Sixers with a break there in two respects. Jordan misses, and there's Pippen now with a steal.
It's good pursuit by Pippen.
And he just turns around and fires. 13 for him. And the Sixers now.
Jim Lynam doesn't like it. He doesn't like this, what he considers carelessness in handling the ball.
It's a 20-point lead, and we have a Sixer timeout.
John Dawkins with the ball. Anytime you're on the fast break with the ball, you've got to be careful of guys sneaking up behind you. Scottie Pippen pursued that ball well, flicked the ball away, picked up by Horace Grant, gets it back to Scottie, who moves his pivot foot to get the balance to shoot his jumper, but it goes uncalled, so Scottie cashes one in. A good play of pursuit, defensive pursuit by Scott Pippen translates into a Bull field goal. Sixers can't get careless.
We should extend our sympathies to the Pippen family. Scotty lost his father yesterday and has commuted back and forth to his home in Arkansas. 65-45, 9:54 to go in the third.
Cross screen for Jaminski, trying to get Jaminski against Pippen.
There it is. The hook shot. The rebound, Charles, and he battles his way and is fouled. Again, Barkley, who started the game just grabbing everything that wasn't nailed down.
See if you can watch. Mike Jaminski shoots that shot short. And Charles just out battles Horace Grant, Scott Pippen, and Bill Cartwright to come down with that ball, get up to the basket, and get fouled. An amazing athlete in pursuit of the ball, and it's his quickness, Jim. I don't think he out-jumps a lot of guys, but he gets to the ball quicker than anybody else.
And works as hard, if not harder, than anybody else.
Exactly.
67-45. Jordan now runs off the screen from Cartwright and hits the open jumper. This is what the Bulls would prefer, a half-court game like this, and their great athletic ability enables them to play great defense and create things like this. All of a sudden, a 20-point game for Jordan.
And in a game where it appeared that Michael Jordan was doing very little, halfway through, not quite halfway through the third period, he already has 20.
He has gotten our attention. Bulls have gotten that lead under 20. This will be Dawkins. Yes.
Johnny Dawkins.
That's 10 for Johnny Dawkins.
Sixer guards had knocked down those open jumpers after that bad performance in the first game.
Cartwright wants it, and he's hit on the floor. No basket.
Personal foul, Mike Jaminski.
So that'll be the third foul on Jaminski.
With Kathleen Malloy.
Mike looked like he was trying to hold his ground, but once you put two hands on the offensive players, officials call that every time.
Mahorn had it. Saved now by Hawkins.
Rick came close to touching that ball over the cylinder.
Johnny Dawkins using Mahorn well, and here's a big-time saddle-me-up foul committed by Cartwright.
One thing I like about Charles, watch this. Bill Cartwright goes for Charles's pump fake.
Cartwright, his first, team third.
But Charles just shrugs that off. He never shows any animosity to these guys that hit him.
Charles has carried his teammates numerous times, and now he's going to lug around the opposition for a while.
And that's a big load, Bill Cartwright. Everybody who coached Bill Cartwright likes him. I think they all wish he were quicker-footed and maybe more aggressive, but they all like the person and like the way he plays overall.
71-49. There's an open shot for Grant. Sixers obviously would be content to just exchange baskets at this point, but can't relax.
That's dangerous.
Like
That's dangerous, Jim.
Bulls have gotten some open shots in this third quarter that weren't there in that first and early part of the second. (71-51). 7:43 to go in the third. It's Dawkins working with Paxson. Barkley the turnaround. Yeah.
A great move by Charles coming from the weak side, getting open at the box.
He and Jordan now match each other with 20 points. Game 4 will be on Sunday afternoon, and that'll be a nationally televised game as Scottie Pippen answers.
Bulls are getting open for a lot of jump shots. It's not at the basket, but they all count 2 points.
Johnny Dawkins runs around the screen, and good defense by the Bulls here. Dawkins breaks it down, creates the open jumper. The dish is lost by Grant.
Not a good pass by Michael Jordan.
Michael has thrown the ball away 3 or 4 times in this game. Very unusual. We're in the third. Jim Barniak along with Jack Ramsey, and it's been a Sixers night so far. Now a loose ball foul underneath. This will be called on Barkley.
Loose ball foul, Charles Barkley. His third.
Now he has 3 fouls. 3 for Jaminski, 3 for Barkley.
But halfway through the third period, 3 is not a problem. Charles got called on the foul for trying to get better rebounding position.
Lone Bull in any kind of foul difficulty is Grant with 3 as well. Jordan just outruns the defense, and a nice play inside, and there's Barkley had a hand on it, and one of the Bulls had a foot on it to knock it out of bounds. Sixers continue to hold on to that 20-point spread. Johnny Dawkins open. Gets hit pretty hard, I thought, by Cartwright. The Bulls come away with the ball. And there's Paxson on the break down the floor. Paxson with only a 2nd field goal.
Bulls pass the ball very well normally, Jim. This is one of the teams that has more assists and turnovers from all the starters.
Let's see, Hawkins gets clobbered. You go to the well often enough, you're going to get the calls eventually, and that time the Hawk paid the price. Cartwright is called for this one. This is his 2nd.
Watch Hersey, gets a little daylight, gets into the paint, and now alters his shot enough so that the defenders have to hit him in their efforts to block the shot. If you take it up in your normal stride, those big guys are going to smack that ball right down in your face. But Hersey has developed the knack of hanging in the air, getting the defensive contact before taking the shot, and it's getting him to the free throw line.
Hersey shooting them at 91% during these playoffs. 75-55.
Jordan's coming to the post.
Hawkins on him, and they're wrestling with one another down there, and Hugh Hollins calls the foul on Hawkins. That's his 2nd.
His 2nd, team 3rd.
They may try for Michael on the same play.
Now he comes to the
Different
opposite
box.
side. And there's the ball, and there's the quick turnaround, and there's the finish.
Michael likes to turn baseline whenever he gets the ball at the post. So if you can take that away from him, force him back to the middle, you take away that quick release. The Sixers were able to do that in the first half.
Charles will try it from distance, and he's right on. Matching Jordan point for point, 22 for each.
Sixers are not penetrating like they did in the first half, though, Jim. They're playing a perimeter game. I think Jim Lynam would like them to get inside more.
Pippen, nice arch on that shot, and now he is quietly getting involved. Each of the teams has had 2 dominant scorers, Barkley and Hawkins, and then Jordan and Pippen. Jaminski. Paxson is able to wrestle it free and knock it out of bounds.
Sixers substitution. Ron Anderson returns.
The Bulls, who, let's look at this one again.
Jim Lynam is calling for the Bulls over the top.
From the G-man, Mike Jaminski.
Can't tell whether Mike got fouled or not. John Paxson seemed to knock the ball away cleanly. I would go with the referee's call on that, which was Sixer ball out of bounds.
Bulls, who shot a miserable 27% in the first half, are 9 for 13 now, and this is an offensive foul going to be called.
John Paxson had position.
Hawkins now picks up his third. Hawk has that tough job of guarding Jordan, so an offensive foul is a big one. Figure he's going to get enough just playing the defense on Jordan. Now we're going to go the other way. An offensive foul call away from the ball. It's going to be on Scottie Pippen. He set a block up down in there, and Joey Crawford. There's
Sixers need some motion in their offensive game. Great pass by Ron Anderson.
And another foul, and a little push and shove goes on to accompany it in. Rick Mahorn and Bill Cartwright.
Bill Cartwright got Rick Mahorn right on the nose. I don't think intentionally.
And two little cats pawing at one another.
Two big cats.
Yeah.
Watson, that's a great pass by Ron Anderson. Cartwright takes the hard foul.
His fourth, team over the women. Technical
Rick is fingering his beak there a little. Wait a minute.
Now they've called a technical foul on Mahorn, which comes as a complete surprise to us and him as well. The personal foul was on Cartwright. Michael Jordan will stroll down unattended to the other end of the floor and shoot the technical free throw.
I don't know what happened there. Rick must have said something, because I didn't see any overt action on his part that would have caused a technical foul.
Cartwright now picks up his...
returns for the Bulls for Bill Cartwright.
We'll have 3 fouls. There's Will Perdue in now for him. Mahorn has 9. Sixers lead at 78-60. We've got 3:39 to play in the third. So it's Paxson and Perdue along with Grant, Pippen, and Jordan. That's the unstoppable move of Jordan when he just takes a couple of dribbles and fires off that dribble.
It's his quickness and the ability to rise up. He gets in the air very quickly and high.
Charles spins into traffic.
Oh my goodness.
And
look at that.
Rams it home on the second effort.
Oh. That's what makes Charles Barkley the great player that he is.
Sixers able to block Jordan this time. I believe it was Mahorn who had the shot at it.
Forced Michael Jordan into a tough passing position. The Bulls turn it over again.
And with 2:48 left to go in the third quarter, we have a timeout with the Sixers leading 81-62. Let us all marvel now at the amazing abilities of Charles Barkley.
Here we see Charles with the ball at the post. Now the Bulls stop him in the middle. Charles fires. Now watch what happens right here. Here you have Bulls right in those key positions, but watch what Charles does. He goes right in front of Will Perdue, yanks that ball off the board and takes it back up. Amazing athlete and a great instinct for going to the ball.
He's got 24 points in a 10-point third quarter. And also 10 offensive rebounds to go with his grand total of 14.
Rick Mahorn just set a nice solid screen on B.J. Armstrong.
This is Hawkins. Jordan comes out. And an illegal defense going to be called.
That's an illegal defense.
That's the first violation for the Bulls. Cartwright who's back in the game, as the victim, or the culprit, I should say.
Here's where Charles has the floor. He can drive him.
They swing the ball now to Anderson, and Hawkins playing catch, and Hersey, yes, indeed. It's a two-pointer.
Yeah, Hersey had his foot on the line.
Sixers go up now by 21. They've had a lead around the 20-point mark, give or take a point here and there.
Charles Barkley was just hoping the pass would be made to Horace Grant.
There's another Barkley rebound. The ball just jumping into his hands, it looks like. Hawkins again.
Oh, that's a big play by the Hawk.
Sixers now with a surge of their own. Grant too strong. Guess who? Whoops. Pippen fouled by Mahorn, and again an example of, folks, you're not going to get a free one in there.
Charles yanks the rebound off, but it gets stolen by Pippen, who makes an alert play and who has great hands, great defensive hands. But when he takes it to the basket, he meets Rick Mahorn.
Bob Thornton gets set to come on and does now.
Bob Thornton returns for the Sixers.
He'll replace Rick Mahorn. The feeling Rick would like to be out there a little longer.
Yeah, I think Rick wanted to stay in the game this time, but it's a wise substitution. 1:30 left in the third. Sixers by 22. 21 now.
Returns for the Bulls for Bill Cartwright.
And Rick with 4 personal fouls, I think. Am I right?
3 we have.
3, okay. So Jim Lynam, more to give Rick a rest than worry about the foul situation.
Armstrong comes in now to guard Dawkins. Here's Ron Anderson nearly making the basket as he challenges the Bulls' interior defense.
Ron taking it to the basket strong tonight. Watch, he gets a little half step on Pippen, who's a pretty good defender and has quick hands, but he beats him. He flat out beats him. Gets to the basket, gets his free throws.
Results in the 4th foul for Pippen. Puts the Bulls in the penalty as well.
Mike Jaminski returns for the 76ers for Charles Barkley.
Here comes Mike Jaminski in for Charles. Rebounds are up to 16 for Barkley as Anderson makes one. He's got 5 points. Sixers by 22.
And 10 of those 16 are offensive rebounds by Charles.
Off the front. Nice pass and a follow-up by Pippen. Or King, rather, gets the shot. Nice pass from Grant.
Now, without Charles, again, the rebounding responsibilities fall heavily on the shoulders of Thornton, Jaminski, and Anderson. Great pass.
Shovel.
Another one.
No basket.
They're going to call no basket. The foul
Personal foul
was taken by Grant.
His 4th.
It was good passing by the Sixers. Oh, watch Thornton slip that ball to Dawkins, who draws the big guy, hands off to Mike Jaminski, but John gets the foul and will go to the free throw line.
One thing the Sixers have not done well tonight is shoot the free throws. Ed Neely back in. Hmm. 17 out of 21. That's not too bad. I should give the Sixers more credit tonight, although they have missed 3 here in this quarter. And losing it and going out of bounds is Pippen.
But he didn't have a possession, so the Sixers have the ball back with 19 on the shot clock.
Time left here is 29 seconds in the quarter, 19 on the shot clock.
John Dawkins will use most of it. Probably make his move with about 7 seconds to go. And here comes the double.
Thornton comes out high to create an opening. Rebound is Pippen. He looks at the clock. 7 seconds left. Jordan with 4 seconds. Squirts away, and a foul taken by Thornton with 0.4 of a second left. It's only the first foul on Thornton.
Mike Jaminski picked up an elbow up above the three-point line. He's fingering his teeth, counting them up, making sure he has what he came to the game with.
Grant now 2 out of 3 from the line.
Greg Hodges returns from Michael Jordan.
Here comes Hodges in now to give Michael a little extra breather and also create some quickness on defense here, although there's only 4:10 seconds left.
Sixers want to be sure they do not throw this inbounds pass away. That's good enough.
At the end of 3 quarters.
And so now we have played 3 quarters of basketball. The Sixers hold on to that 20-point lead. It's at 87-67.
Make a very deft offensive move. It's going to come off the Bulls shot. Charles Barkley's rebound, a little push off by Charles, gives it off to John Dawkins. Hawk with the ball. Now he's got Jordan straight up. Hawk takes him in, forces Jordan to drop back to protect against the drive, and then fades just enough to shoot that soft jumper over Michael's outstretched hand. Nice offensive play by the Hawk.
Well, the Bulls shot a excellent 61% in that third quarter, 11 out of 18, but were unable to make up any ground. As we head now into the final 12, with the Sixers continuing to hold a 20-point lead.
Critical time for the Sixers right here. They cannot afford to throw the ball away, and they've got to keep their advantage so that Michael Jordan will stay on the bench.
Dawkins and Hawkins, Thornton, Jaminski, and Ron Anderson now. Running out of time.
Great pass by Ron Anderson.
Went left-handed, couldn't get it.
That was too bad. Bob was right at the hoop. Ron's made a couple of very nice entry passes in the basket area tonight.
Hodges.
Craig Hodges can drill threes.
Yep, just inside the three-point line there. He has led the NBA in three-point shooting in his career. Backdoor job. Jaminski saves it. The defense of the Bulls has revved up, but Ron Anderson answers that.
Well, it looked like Ron said, hey, if you guys aren't going to finish these shots, let me do it.
Little runner here is pulled down by Jaminski. Neely comes flying in and got away with one. Ahead of the pack is Anderson, and
that's a breakaway.
Fouled from behind. Stacey King.
That should be a breakaway, Jim. Sixers should have the ball sideline out of bounds. Yes, sir.
Good call.
That's a breakaway.
That breakaway rule was put in to prevent guys from getting hammered in the open court. So when you're trailing an offensive player in the front court, you've got to let him go or get at least on the side or in front of him if you're going to foul him. If you foul him from behind, the player gets his free throws and his team gets possession of the ball sideline out of bounds.
That makes it 91-69, and as you point out, the ball stays right here. Double team on Dawkins.
Bulls looking to trap.
They have to gamble now. This thing could get into a blowout if the Bulls are unable to make their gambling defense pay off. 93-69. Some might say it's a blowout as we speak. Thornton takes a foul.
Personal foul.
Bob Thornton knows what his job is. His job is to rebound the ball, set screens, and plug the paint, and get whatever scores come his way at the basket area. Now, he hasn't scored tonight. but he has done the other things very well. And he's not afraid to take fouls rather than let a player get to the basket all by himself.
Scottie Pippen trying to get his 20th point of the game. Now it's 93-70.
Bulls again showing trap. John Dawkins usually can beat this trap by himself.
Wow, the ball is dangerously close to the midline, and finally coming up and making the call, Bennett Salvador.
While John can beat it by himself, he's got to be sure that he can split double teams, and if not, get the ball to open people, because they're standing in pass receivable areas.
Now it's Neely. Pippen now will be called for a foul as he trying to get the rebounding position. Just spun Ron Anderson right around, and that's 5 now for Pippen. Michael Jordan back in, and he'll replace Pippen.
Now this is really a small team. Michael Jordan is the small forward on this team. They've got 2 small guards, got Michael Jordan at the small forward position, and not really big guys up front.
Neely and King. This is the gambling tactic defense now for the Bulls.
Jim Lynam is going to counter by bringing Charles Barkley back in the game, along with Scott Brooks.
Ron Anderson had a great chance at an offensive rebound. Taking it into the painted area goes Armstrong, and he's fouled.
I think B.J. Armstrong got away with a little walk, but when he got to the paint area, Bob Thornton took the foul on him. That's 3 on Bob.
So here comes Brooks, and here comes Barkley.
That's a good move by Jim Lynam. Now he's got 2 very good ball handlers in the backcourt. Remember, Scott Brooks during the regular season had a 5-to-1 assist turnover ratio, which is excellent.
Bulls had 3 #1 picks, and Armstrong one of them.
I like this little guy, Jim. I had my doubts about him at first, but I think he's going to be a solid NBA player.
Getting a lot of playing time here in the playoffs, which indicates how far he's come in this rookie season. Sixers scrambling now as the Bulls have 4 men. Creates the disadvantage, and Thornton.
That's nice play by Charles and Bob Thornton.
Bob's been around the basket intermittently, you might say, tonight, still looking for a field goal. It's the second foul on Jordan.
Bob Thornton shooting 2.
9:33 left here in game number 3.
If this game closes up inside 20, let's say to 16, I'm sure Jim Lynam will not hesitate to bring Rick Mahorn back in the game.
So Bob still scoreless. Barkley goes head-to-head high in the air with Armstrong.
Personal foul, Charles Barkley.
This is the 4th foul committed by Barkley, and another example of the Sixers just flat-out refusal to let the Bulls get anything easy in there.
But here comes Rick Mahorn. He'll come in for Bob Thornton, I would think.
Here comes Rick. There goes Bob. One more for Armstrong.
Sixers are out rebounding the Bulls 39-22. I'd call that decisive.
Rebounding up until tonight had been in the Bulls' favor at 85-79. That has been reversed.
Good job. But the Sixers get the ball over half court. Mike Jaminski making a good decision on inbounding the ball.
Anderson to Scott Brooks. Brooks with 5 seconds on the shot clock. Surprised a few folks by going all the way himself for 3, and he's got 28 points now for Jordan. But the clock running in the Sixers' favor. 8:50 to go in the game.
But a lot of time left. Sixers do not want to get casual,
As we have
as
just
they
seen.
do right there.
Armstrong was trying to go between Barkley and Mahorn. And he is sandwiched.
Now you got to admire this little guy. See, that foul is from the side, so it is not a breakaway. But he got cracked pretty hard the last time. Oh, are they going to give him a breakaway? They shouldn't. That foul was from the side.
Discussion goes on.
Percy Hawkins returns to the 76ers.
And I'm sure that's what the discussion is about.
For Ron Anderson.
Substitution meanwhile. Anderson to the bench. Hawkins in. Well, you got to admire the officials talked it out.
Yeah, I like
Best
that.
thing to do is get it right.
Now, we said this is a good crew, and they have shown themselves to be just that. Joey Crawford, I would think the crew chief here, but Hugh Hollins and Bennett Salvatore both doing their jobs very well also tonight.
7 points for Armstrong. Phil Jackson wants that foul. You could almost read those lips.
I started to say, you've got to admire B.J. Armstrong because he knew he was going to take a pretty good lick, but he took it right to the basket anyway.
Scott Brooks will get it across. 8:95-79. 8:25 to go. Almost thrown away, and now it's picked off by the Bulls. That's back-to-back occasions now when the Sixers have been careless, and Neely will finish off the layup, and Jimmy Lynam nearly walks to the basket to call a timeout. 95-81, 8:16 to go, and we'll be back right after this. Jack, we're seeing 2 examples where the Bulls pressure confusing the Sixers.
Well, the Sixers aren't taking time to get themselves set up properly. They need somebody right in the middle, right on the foul line. Rick Mahorn usually fills that position, but he wasn't there. And those soft cross-court passes aren't going to get it done. Now, the Bulls, having had a little success with that, are going to go right back at it now. And they've done a pretty good job of making it tough for the Sixers to get that first inbound pass.
Sixers now their lead down to 14. You have to go all the way back to about early moments of the first quarter before that was matched. Here's a fall away, and they're going to, yes, they're going to give the goal to Barkley.
Boy, that's a tough shot. Watch this pass. John Dawkins flipping across. Charles gets bumped by Michael Jordan, fades back, and drills the jumper. That's a big hoop, Jim.
And it'll be even bigger if he can add another, and does. 27 points now for Charles.
It takes a little starch out of the Bulls' comeback.
Barkley has been averaging 24 in the playoffs. Boom.
Whoa.
That was a
Hodges.
3 by Hodges.
That's where Rick Mahorn belongs. Now they're still doubling.
Mahorn powering to the basket.
Oh,
a little
you've got
too
to make
strong.
those. You've got to make those.
And a breakout here.
Oh, my.
Hawkins turning around in disbelief. But the foul is called, and 30 points now for Michael Jordan. He'll have a chance for one more.
Michael Jordan shooting 1.
Look at Michael. This is some play. John Dawkins makes a swipe at the ball. Percy tries to stop Michael once he's airborne, but it just doesn't work out. And Jim Lynam is bringing back Ron Anderson for Rick Mahorn to operate against the Bulls' trap.
There was a 5-point swing as Mahorn missed the dunk. The Bulls get 3 at the other end, and it's a 11-point Sixer lead. 7:30 left to go in the game.
The Bulls are continuing their trap even after the ball's over half court.
And now a whistle. They had Big Ed Neely out there in the unfamiliar role of pressure defense.
Ed Neely is a scrapper. He just works hard.
That's only the first foul on Neely. Biggest Sixer lead was 27.
These free throws are important too because the Bulls will foul a lot in their efforts to double team, and the Sixers have to knock them down.
$100-87.
Well, there's the magic 100 mark. Craig Hodges trying to get open for a 3 again. Doesn't do it.
Neely looks.
But Neely can shoot it also.
Fires. That was a 3-point shot attempt anyway by Neely.
He's a pretty good long-range shooter, Jim.
Barkley splits 2 Bulls and then kicks on 2 more.
Well, he gave Jim Lynam some heart palpitations by trying to split that double team out front, but he got there and got the foul.
And he'll be on the line when play resumes. The Bulls want to talk things over. With exactly 7 minutes to go, the Sixers 100, the Bulls 87. Jack, I'd like to talk a little bit about the fatigue factor. You've watched teams. As you look at the Sixers now, how would you assess their stamina at this point?
I think the Sixers are in great shape as far as stamina is concerned, Jim. Everybody's been rested. Jim Lynam has shuffled players in and out. Nobody has played extensive minutes. You know, these guys are used, Barkley's used to playing 40 plus a game. So is Dawkins and Hawkins. So you see the group. I think what Jim Lynam is concerned about is getting the players positioned so that they can attack the Bulls' trap properly. They really haven't done it since the Bulls applied the full and continued it into the half court. You've got to have somebody in that middle position. And once it gets there, you've got people going to the basket who should be open. Or if it goes to the wing, then the man in the middle can cut to the basket and get open. Now, Charles Barkley got a pass to Bob Thornton in just that situation, but Bob got fouled and didn't convert the free throws. So Sixers need to score.
7 minutes to go. The crowd on its feet. And silence overtakes everyone as Charles nails his 28th point.
Bulls will continue this gambling defense, Jim. They have nothing to lose. They're behind 14 right now. They'll try and set Hodges and Jordan up for 3-pointers, and B.J. Armstrong is quick enough to penetrate the ball to get those guys open.
Jordan fakes by Ron Anderson, leaning in and floating in the air. 33 for Jordan.
Ron made sure that he didn't get a 3-point opening.
The trap is on Anderson, and he squirms loose.
Good ball handling by Ron.
Barkley with Neely going to take a hit inside.
Ron Anderson did a great job of maneuvering out of the double team. And Charles, you'll see him here, take the ball strong to Neely, and Ed Neely wraps him up so he doesn't shoot the open layup.
With fouls to take, that's only his second. Wasn't about to let Charles slam that one down. Neely's got a lot of minutes here in his fourth quarter.
Now he plays hard. And, as I mentioned earlier, Phil Jackson likes his effort and the production. He gets the job done. He has a job to do out there. He's a rebounder. He's a loose ball pursuer. Didn't do much in the regular season point-wise. Averaged just over 2 points a game during the regular season, but there goes another 3 and blocked by
Hawkins. Grabbed by Dawkins. On Andrews.
Oh, Mike Jaminski wide open.
Doesn't matter now. 105-89.
That was that middleman I was talking about, slicing right to the basket when Ron dressed up his jump shot.
Determined Armstrong feeds Neely.
And Neely.
Ooh, very close to throwing that one away, and now the reach foul. Now that one is not going to be a breakaway, obviously. It occurred first of all in the backcourt.
John Dawkins, for the most part, has a great sense of when he can dribble and when he should pass against heavy pressure. And he's quick enough to beat most teams when they're trying to trap him. We've seen him tonight have success doing it, and we saw him one time where he coughed up the ball. But John usually uses good judgment in making his decision on that kind of play.
5:45 now left in the game. Mike Jaminski tried to avoid the foul, got caught in the air and came down and fouled Armstrong. If this series should go to game 6, and we certainly expect it to do just that, Jack and I will be back next Friday night for that game right here on Prism.
Sixers a little slow getting back in their transition defense, which matched B.J. Armstrong against Mike Jaminski, and that's not a good match. B.J. pumped Mike up in the air and then stepped under him to get the foul.
Neely all over Charles. And bad pass there.
Decision. Jump in the air to make a pass. Seldom pays off for you.
And right back the other way.
0 for 2. Foot on the line.
It's now again the lead back to 12. 106-94, a turnover, the 20th of the game for the Sixers, and Jordan firing in his 35th points. We've got a timeout with 5:24 left to go. Well, the Bulls trying to claw themselves back in here, come up with some good defense, causing problems for Charles Barkley.
I think Phil Jackson has to be pleased with what he's getting out of his trap. Here you see Charles getting double teamed and making the mistake of going into the air without having a direct receiver in mind. He throws the ball that's picked off by Craig Hodges, and Michael Jordan just has his right toe on that three-point line, or he would have had a three. Sixers need to take care of the ball. Jim Lynam, I'm sure, has stressed that at each timeout. He wants his players in position. Bulls are doing a good job of keeping the pressure on the player with the ball, as well as shutting off the near outlet pass receivers. Now they're dropping back into a half-court trap.
There it is. Johnny Dawkins in the middle, and there's a grabbing foul by Craig Hodges. That's only his first foul. They've got Hodges and Armstrong and Jordan, three very quick players to harass the ball. And then they've got Neely and King in the backcourt. And the Sixers have to do a lot of this now, and Johnny Dawkins makes one of two. 5:16 to go. Sixers by 14.
Michael Jordan on the back pick.
Squirms
now
loose to get the ball. He'll fire from three. Dawkins had 3-on-3 and then wisely backs it up. Here's a steal. You could see it coming. Michael J. Johnny Dawkins nearly forgot to take the ball inbounds. Hugh Hollins calls a timeout.
I don't know what that was for. So Sixers have the ball again.
Believe me, I don't know what that was.
They match up man to man and then double once the first pass is made.
Dawkins able to beat the flow. 12-point lead.
There it is.
Barkley had a layup. The pass went awry. The battle for the loose ball is won this time by the Bulls. Michael Jordan. Great pass. King, and it's now a 10-point game. 108-98. The Sixers won a timeout. There is 4 minutes and 16 seconds left, which is an eternity, when you're beginning now to have some trouble with this pressure.
Well, again, it comes from player position and attacking the ball. Now, we had a cross-court pass. Here's a very soft pass being thrown by John Dawkins, and Michael Jordan just laying in the weeds, waiting for that long, soft pass to be thrown, and then sliding in front of Charles Barkley to intercept and take it down for a score. Now here's Michael just faking the entire defense to give a scoring pass to Stacey King right under the hoop. So Sixers have to get their concentration going, get their positioning, and find where the openings are and go after them. The openings are generally in the middle of the floor, and if it goes to the wing player, that middle guy is open going to the basket. Now, they had that open in the last opportunity, but the pass was off its mark, so they didn't get the quick score on it. This is what basketball, this is what NBA basketball, Jim. We commented earlier that at some point the Bulls would mount a charge, and they've waited a long time to do it, but they certainly got the Sixers' attention right now.
Well, it all began when the Sixers really jumped on the Bulls, 33-14 at the end of the first quarter, and the Bulls have been traveling uphill ever since. This is their best run now, getting this thing down to 10. Ron Anderson, Dawkins, Hawkins, Jaminski, and Barkley.
When the Bulls match up man-to-man, and the Sixers have to flash Barkley.
Another precarious
to get the ball inbounds. Well, there's Mike Jaminski in the middle. They've got a middleman now.
Hersey Hawkins taking it to the basket. The ball is knocked out of bounds, and the call is now made at half court, giving the ball to the Sixers with 10 seconds on the shot clock. Ooh, nearly stole that one. Anderson loops around and somehow got that ball up between all those arms.
That's an excellent shot by Ron Anderson on a nice feed from Charles Barkley.
Anderson, the unenviable task of guarding Jordan. This is King, however, and he misses. Rebound, number 19 for Barkley.
There goes Charles.
That's the way to break the press.
Great pass.
Jordan somehow emerged from nowhere to block that layup.
How Michael Jordan does that. That was a great pass by Barkley. Watch Charles. He's going to thread that pass. Nice bounce pass to Jaminski. Let's watch. Oh, that's a foul.
One would think.
I think Michael fouled Jaminski as he went up for the shot initially.
Charles with a Stacey King arm looped around his neck. Works his way to the free throw line.
Sixers still not sure and crisp with the ball as Jim Lynam would like them, I'm sure.
King picks up his fourth.
Jim's telling Hersey Hawkins just how he wants to handle this thing.
That's 31 now. Charles has been a very solid 11 for 14 so far from the line.
Charles has had a huge game tonight. Magnificent.
3:19 to go.
Sixers want to guard against threes. Quick scores.
Neely from Jordan. Loose. Anderson the save. Here comes the trap.
Traps are not nearly effective when you don't score. Good pass by O'Hawk.
To Jaminski, and he missed the layup. Intimidated perhaps by Jordan, who comes back firing the other end. Gets three, and we are now down to 10 once again. 2:40 to go. 111-101. Anderson, yes.
All right, there's a good look by Mark Jaminski. Sixers have players open. They just need the poise to pick them out and get the ball to them.
It is not coming easy, but a little breathing room there. A 20-second timeout called by Chicago. So we'll keep it right here as Phil Jackson talks to his team.
There's a good look by Mike Jaminski down the floor. Ron Anderson down there by himself collects the pass and lays it in. But you notice Charles Barkley also in the picture. So Mike Jaminski had two players open down the floor against one defender. He made the right choice.
2:26 on the clock.
The 76ers have one full timeout plus a 20-second timeout.
All right, here come the Bulls. Jordan and Armstrong. Jordan breaks right by and scores. Now he's got 42.
42 quiet points. Ron Anderson taking his time and pulling the ball out before going to Barkley, and Charles gets fouled.
Yep, Neely and King had the baseline sealed, but Charles managed to find enough daylight to get hacked.
Returns for the 76ers. G-Man, Mike Jaminski.
Rick Mahorn back in. Mike Jaminski will come out. Jaminski will go to the bench with 10 points. He's been not one to talk about problems with injuries, but he's been playing with a stiff back and has some allergy problems.
Now there, I think, is a fellow who is suffering from a little fatigue, Jim. Because Mike doesn't have the greatest stamina in the world to start with. And he takes his own game very personally.
Mahorn had it, lost it. The lead is at 10. The clock is at 2 minutes.
2 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. 2 minutes.
The alley-oop, and there he is. Hang gliding. Down to single digits now for the first time since early in the first quarter. Sixers by 8. Bulls frantically scrambling all over the place. Delivering the message as well that
Sixers should use clock and then go after it when they have the good opportunity. I'm not sure that's it.
And out of bounds it goes. The message,
had 5 seconds on the clock when he shot it.
The message, Jack, is that this team was seemingly out of it, but have instead battled hard and have got this thing back to where they could conceivably even win it. We'll have to have a better shot than that. Neely the follow, though, gets it, and the lead now is at 6. The clock at 1:18. Nearly thrown away.
Sixers are jumping in the air to make passes, and it doesn't work.
Mahorn's miss is swarmed on and grabbed by Neely. The pressure applied by the Bulls has completely changed the course of this game here in the fourth quarter for 3. How about a 113-110 game with 54 seconds left? And Michael Jordan rising to the new levels once again. 47 points. He wanted this one from the moment he got the ball.
B.J. Armstrong giving it back to Michael, plants his feet and fires, nothing but net. And the Sixers lead has dissipated to a narrow 3, would you believe it?
It was at 27 at one point. And what this tells me, Jack, is, boy, without that first quarter, 33-14, you got to wonder about the outcome of this baby.
Well, the Sixers have had little trouble with trapping defenses all year. I think what's foiled them a little bit is that the Bulls match up to start with. See, everybody will take, now they're dropping back to half court, but they're going to trap you at half court. You can count on that.
Sixers need a bucket. Here's the half court trap. The ball's knocked loose and it's out of bounds, and the Sixers turn it over. The Bulls with a chance to tie with a 3 or pull within 1. 45 seconds to play in the game. Jordan squares up and high off the glass, and the rebound Barkley. He breaks away and is fouled. The 20th rebound of the game for Charles Barkley, and if ever is a such thing as a monster big-time rebound, the Sixers needed one there and got it.
And they need these free throws. There's still plenty of time for the Bulls if Charles doesn't connect on at least one of these. And Rick Mahorn is going to come back in the game for Jim Lynam.
113-110, add one more.
Big free throw by Charles.
That changes the complexion and the strategy available now to the Bulls.
Mahorn comes in place of Jaminski. Give Jim Lynam a little more foot quickness and a little stronger rebounding with a closing 32.6 seconds.
Some unbelievable numbers in this game. Points, rebounds, breakaway here, and thrown away, and out of bounds it goes. A crucial and costly turnover for the Bulls, trying to steal a quick basket and save some clock, turn it over. The ball loose, and a foul now on the kicking violation. Okay,
Kick
Sixers
ball, which
will
gives the
inbound it.
Sixers the rest of the game. They get a new 24 seconds, but only 22.2 left in the game, so the Sixers have it all. They don't need a shot.
Bulls, who had a near flawless fourth quarter, that was only their first turnover. Whoops, a double dribble. No, they're going to call a foul. Neely commits the foul. For a moment there, it looked like Charles had discontinued his dribble and then started up again. But
well, he got fouled.
Yeah.
He sensed Neely's foul, expected that it would be called. It wasn't called by the officials in the backcourt. Joe Crawford had to call it from way up front. So Charles goes to the line again. Again, one of the two will certainly help. Two of the two will ice it.
There's one. 18 seconds. 18 7/10 to be precise. Left in the game. What looked like a romp. An easy one.
You can never tell, Jim, in this game, this NBA game.
Goes to the wire.
The Sixers certainly helped the Bulls by not handling the ball crisply, but give Chicago a lot of credit for their tenacity.
Mahorn and Neely, a little exchange of elbows, but that quiets down. The last thing you want is any kind of fracas at this point. For three. For three. For two.
Michael Jordan.
49 points.
And 7 seconds left.
And just nestling the ball into his chest is Hersey Hawkins with 5.6 seconds to go. Is fouled. There will be a happy bunch of fans, but Jimmy Lynam will spend tomorrow designing ways to beat this press. So he'll have to obviously look at it again on Sunday. Game 4 at 1 o'clock.
Well, I think the Sixers will have all the wrinkles ironed out of their attack against the press on Sunday, but it surprised them tonight. I think they didn't imagine that the Bulls could really challenge them with a trapping defense, but they've done it, and they've done it very well.
Hawkins with a quiet 26. Adds another. Down goes Neely and Mahorn in their customary wrestling position where they've been going at it for the last minute or so. The Bulls, with 5 seconds to play, are going to call a timeout to try and devise a miracle here where they need 2 3-pointers in 5 seconds. Now, you always tell me that anything is possible.
Anything's possible in an NBA game. Jim, one of the things that the Sixers have to improve on in their ball handling against the trap is the old premise, the old adage, you don't jump in the air to make a pass. You jump in the air to shoot a ball, or sometimes you jump in the air when you know you have your receiver, but you don't jump in the air and then try to find one. And the Sixers were guilty of that on several occasions tonight, most of which were converted into turnovers by the Bulls. But I think Jim Lyon will have this corrected by Sunday, especially since it was so dramatic on this occasion.
It is hard to imagine that a player like Jordan could come out and score 49 points and yet his team on the verge of losing. And one of the reasons, if not the reason, has to do with that man right there who has also put together another one of his monster games, Charles Barkley.
Well, Charles was sensational tonight. He started the game as if he himself was going to carry the load and take the Sixers to victory. And in effect, that's just what he did. He was a terror at both backboards. He made scoring passes. He scored in the paint. He hit his jump shots. He played a completely versatile game tonight that was productive in every area. I think I only caught him once when he jumped in the air to throw that cross-court pass that got picked off.
Just a quick reminder, coming up after tonight's game, the movie See No Evil, Hear No Evil.
And we'll be back next Friday night. We do hope for Game 6 in what is fast becoming a war.
Sixers have shot the free throws pretty well tonight, 34 out of 45.
Ed Neely to inbound. The Bulls need a pair of threes.
There's one.
Attempt. And this will be history now. And Game 3 belongs to the 76ers. And the series goes 2 for Chicago, 1 for the 76ers. The final score, 118 to 112. The Sixers at one point in the third quarter with a 27-point lead have to hang on by their fingernails here, but do come out with a 6-point win.